Sasuke is surprised and puts up less resistance, so Kakashi tells him that taking revenge for those that he's lost is not worth also losing those he still has, namely Naruto and Sakura. To that end, he encourages Sasuke to start using Chidori for its intended purpose, protecting friends rather than attacking them. He unties Sasuke and leaves for his mission, intending for what he said to sink in. When he returns, Tsunade informs him that Sasuke has defected to Orochimaru and that Naruto and a team of genin were sent after him. Upset with himself for not spending more time diffusing Sasuke's angst, Kakashi goes after him, fearful that he and Naruto may kill each other. He summons his Ninken to help him track Sasuke and Naruto, eventually finding the latter unconscious at the Valley of the End. Because it's raining, he can't find Sasuke's trail, and besides, Naruto needs medical attention. He takes him back to Konoha and releases him into the care of the medic corps. With Sasuke gone to Orochimaru, Naruto decides to start training with Jiraiya, and Sakura trains with Tsunade. Having no students to lead anymore, Kakashi resumes his prior mission schedule. Mizuki Tracking Mission. In the anime, Kakashi returns from the mission in time to help round up escapees from the Konoha Street Correctional Facility. Cursed Warrior Extermination Mission. In the anime, Kakashi is sent to the Land of Birds as backup for Naruto, Tenten, and Neji Hyuga as they investigate the Cursed Warrior. He takes command of the team and eventually defeats Nagare and Hokushin with relative ease. Tsunagakure Support Mission. In the anime, Kakashi is sent to spy on the Takumi village in order to investigate rumors of an uprising. There, he finds the entire village abandoned. He is later part of the reinforcements sent to Tsunagakure to help deal with the four Celestial Symbols men, only to discover that Naruto's team already successfully completed the mission. In Naruto's footsteps, the Friends' Paths. In the anime, about 2 years after Naruto leaves Konoha to train with Jiraiya, another Chunin exam is held. Kakashi is sent to Amegakure to invite its ninja to participate, a mere pretext for him to investigate rumors surrounding the village. He is stopped at the village's entrance, but is able to arrange a meeting with Hanzo, who is actually Conan in disguise, and delivers the invitation. Although he appears to leave Ame afterwards, Kakashi sneaks back in to see what he can find out. It immediately becomes apparent to him that although Ame's ninja don't know the identity of the intruder, they are aware that someone has infiltrated the village. Kakashi decides to go back to Konoha rather than risk causing an incident. Kazukage Rescue Mission. Kakashi is the first person to greet Naruto when he returns from his 2.5 years of training with Jiraiya. Naruto gives him a copy of Icha Icha Tactics as a present, which Kakashi wastes no time starting to read. As Naruto goes off to see Sakura, Jiraiya warns Kakashi that Akatsuki will be making a move in the near future. After Naruto and Sakura have had a chance to catch up, Kakashi reforms Team 7 and gives them another bell test. Unlike last time, taking the bells from him is the real objective. Kakashi also decides to take the test seriously by uncovering his Sharingan and closing his copy of Icha Icha Tactics. As with last time, Naruto launches a first attack before the test officially begins, but this time it nearly succeeds. Kakashi is impressed by this and others sense their improvement, but by nightfall they still haven't taken a bell. Tired of this, Naruto tries spoiling the ending of Icha Icha Tactics, forcing Kakashi to cover his ears so as to not hear it, and shuts his eyes so as to not read Naruto's lips. This allows Naruto and Sakura to each take a bell. While Team 7 tries without success to find a mission to go on that Naruto won't complain about, word reaches Konoha that Akatsuki has kidnapped Gaara, the 5th Kazukage, and the Jinchuriki of the One Tail. Team 7 is sent to Tsunagakure to lend assistance in rescuing Gaara. When they arrive at Suna, Kakashi is attacked by Chiyo, who mistook him for his father, but her brother Ebizo cleared up the confusion before the attack could connect, to Kakashi's great relief at the close call. Team 7 gathers what intel they can on Gaara's kidnappers and leave to go after them. Chiyo volunteers to escort them since they aren't familiar with the country around Suna. While en route to an Akatsuki lair, they are confronted by Itachi Uchiha. While they fight him, Kakashi notices that something is off about Itachi, noticeably his lack of use of the Mangekyo Sharingan. The reason for this is discovered after Naruto seemingly kills him with a big ball Rasengan. They were only fighting a doppelganger. Team 7 arrives at the Akatsuki lair shortly after Team Guy does, who are sent as backup by Tsunade. After Team Guy takes down the barrier over the entrance, Team 7 moves in and finds Gaara's body with his kidnappers, Deidara and Sasori. Deidara takes Gaara's body and flies off, which Naruto and Kakashi go after, leaving Sasori to Sakura and Chiyo. Naruto makes repeated failed attempts to rescue Gaara, prompting Kakashi to encourage patience while he prepares a new ability. Once he's ready, Kakashi uses Kamui on Deidara, but his aim is off and he succeeds only in removing one of Deidara's arms. This creates an opening for Naruto to take Gaara back, which Deidara responds to by creating a suicide bombing clone to cover his escape. Kakashi uses Kamui again to warp the explosion away. After they regroup with Chiyo and Sakura, Chiyo gives her life to revive Gaara. Team 7 and Guy attend her funeral in Sunagakure before returning home. Kakashi is unable to walk due to overusing his Mangekyo Sharingan, forcing Might Guy to carry him. Guy's choice of carrying Kakashi by piggyback deeply disturbs their students. Tenchi Bridge Reconnaissance Mission. During her fight with Sasori, Sakura learned of an opportunity to possibly meet with Sasuke in a few days' time. Kakashi must remain in bed while he recovers and therefore cannot go. In his place, Team 7 is led by an Anbu codenamed Yamato, who Kakashi once knew as Tenzo. Before Team 7 sets out, Yamato, Tsunade, and Jiraiya meet with Kakashi to discuss Naruto's deteriorating control of the Nine-Tails power. Akatsuki Suppression Mission. Although Team 7 was able to meet Sasuke, he was too strong for them to capture and bring back to Konoha. Once Kakashi's done recuperating, he calls them before him and is introduced to Sai, who is effectively Sasuke's replacement on the team. They speak only briefly, but both approve of each other. Kakashi believes the best way to match Sasuke would be for Naruto to create a new jutsu. Before he can elaborate further, they are interrupted by the arrival of Asuma, Sarutobi, and the rest of Team 10. When their students leave to have dinner, Asuma lingers behind to discuss something with Kakashi, only to change his mind when Kurenai Yuhi comes looking for him. To help Naruto create a new jutsu, Kakashi first establishes what his nature is: wind. With that settled, Kakashi trains Naruto on how to learn to use the wind nature. Ordinarily, such training would take months or years, but Naruto, by training alongside hundreds of shadow clones, can do the same training in a mere fraction of the time. With Kakashi's instructions and training grounds created by Yamato, Naruto quickly masters how to use the wind nature. The next step is more difficult for him, combining that nature with the Rasengan. Because Kakashi and Minato Namikaze both failed to combine their natures with the Rasengan, Kakashi can't offer Naruto any tips and can only watch as he tries to develop something. When they receive news that Asuma died in battle with members of Akatsuki, they take a break to attend Asuma's funeral. Because he can be of no further assistance to Naruto, Kakashi leaves Yamato in charge of watching over him. Kakashi, meanwhile, volunteers to help Team 10 avenge Asuma. Shikamaru Nara, having previously come up with a plan, modifies to take Kakashi's presence into consideration. Once they locate the Akatsuki members, Hidan and Kakazu, Kakashi hides until Kakazu is driven to use his Earth Spear, at which point Kakashi pierces him through the heart with his lightning cutter. Kakazu, who has more than one heart, fends Kakashi off and uses the elemental masks of his Earth Grudge Fear to put Team 10 on the defensive. Needing to separate Hidan and Kakazu if they're to have any chance at victory, Shikamaru takes a vial of Kakazu's blood that Kakashi secretly collected and leads Hidan away. Shikamaru was able to trick Hidan into using the blood to curse Kakazu, destroying the second of his hearts in time to stop him from stealing Kakashi's. Angered by the loss of 2 hearts, Kakazu prepares to kill Kakashi and Team 10. His attack is blocked by the combined efforts of Naruto and Yamato, who arrive with Sakura and Sai to lend assistance. Kakashi summons Pakun to lead Sakura and Sai to Shikamaru in case he needs help while everyone else prepares to attack Kakazu. Naruto, having finished his jutsu, volunteers to face Kakazu alone. His new wind-release Rasen Shuriken is temperamental, however, forcing Kakashi and Yamato to rescue him when it fails on its first use. It succeeds on the second time, destroying 2 of Kakazu's hearts and putting the last one on the brink of failure. Kakashi is deeply impressed by the Rasen Shuriken and tells Kakazu that the previous generation being surpassed by the next was perfectly natural. Kakashi then finished him off with a lightning cutter. Three Tails appearance. In the anime, Kakashi leads Team 8 on a mission to investigate one of Orochimaru's recently discovered bases. During their investigation, they're attacked by Guren, one of Orochimaru's subordinates, who traps them in her Jade Crystal Labyrinth technique. Team 7 eventually arrives to lend assistance and helps them escape, but while going after Guren, they come across the Three Tails. Kakashi requests additional assistance from Konoha, and once it arrives, they attempt to seal the Three Tails. Guren and her team interrupt them and the Three Tails gets away, but Guren's team is defeated. They are then recalled to Konoha with Anbu sent to seal the Three Tails in their place. Itachi Pursuit Mission. News reaches Konoha that Sasuke has killed Orochimaru. Realizing that this is a good opportunity to try once again to reunite with Sasuke, Kakashi combines Team 7 and 8 into an 8-man squad with their mission to either find Sasuke or his assumed target, Itachi. They split up and look for leads on either Uchiha, with Kakashi providing one or more of his intent to those without any particular tracking ability. None find anything until witnessing CO. They converge at its epicenter and can detect Sasuke's trail. Fated battle between brothers. As they near Sasuke's location, they're intercepted by Akatsuki member Tobi. They make repeated attempts to kill or capture him, but every attack passes through him without sign of damage. Zetsu eventually appears and reports to Tobi that Itachi has died in battle with Sasuke. No longer needing to distract the 8-man squad, Tobi disappears. Before he goes, Kakashi notices that he has a Sharingan. Kakashi scouts the area and notices Itachi's Amaterasu in the distance. They rush there, hoping to reach Sasuke before Tobi does, but they are too late and cannot rediscover his trail. Six Tails Unleashed. In the anime, Katsuyu meets with them as they return to Konoha to give them a new mission, helping the Tsuchigumo clan protect its forbidden technique. Kakashi sends 7 to complete the mission while he returns to the village with Team 8. Pain's Assault. Back in Konoha, leader, Pain. He is present when the news is shared with Naruto, who was too distraught to be of assistance and needed something alone. Before he died, Jiraiya sent a number of things to Konoha that would help them against Pain, including an encrypted message. Shikamaru is able to properly console and get Naruto to help him decode it, who realizes that the key to its decryption must be Icha tactics. Kakashi, having the only copy, is asked to read specific passages aloud, which makes him extremely uncomfortable. He attacks Konoha soon afterwards. Also, when 6 pounds of Pain draw attention to themselves, others avoid to train. Kakashi guesses this tactic and goes searching for one of the latter group. In doing so, he finds the Diva Path, and by confronting it, he is able to save Iruka Umino. Kakashi tries to corner the Diva Path so he can destroy it with his lightning cutter, but it repels him with Shinra Tensei. Pain, recognizing that Kakashi is a dangerous Kakashi struggles against both. The clashing jutsu at least attracts reinforcements' attentions. Choza and Shoji Akamichi cripple the Asura Path while they arrive. From careful observation of Diva Path's abilities, Kakashi notices a brief cooldown period between his jutsu. To take advantage of this, under it has Choza and Choji attack it from opposite sides. When they're deflected by Shinra Tensei, they grab him to attack with his lightning cutter. Before he can lay a blow, the Asura Path uses itself as a shield, giving him it defeats all of Kakashi's reinforcements and binds Kakashi in the rubble. Anticipating pretends to be dead or wakes up, Kakashi sends him to Tsunade. The still functioning Asura Path again to warp away the After dying, Kakashi finds Sakumo waiting for him. He entreats Kakashi to tell him about his life, with which Kakashi complies. He concludes his story by saying that he understands the choices Sakumo made when he was alive and he was proud to be his son. Just then, a light envelops Kakashi, a sign of his revival. Before Kakashi returns to the living plane, Sakumo thanks him for putting him to peace at long last, allowing him to continue to the afterlife. Kakashi wakes up, surprising those nearby, and he's informed of what happened instead. As Naruto returns to Konoha, Kakashi goes to meet him and carries him back, where his victory is celebrated by all the villagers. Past Arc, the focus of Konoha. In the anime, a traveling musician visits Konoha as it starts rebuilding. Seeing the musician reminds Kakashi of Team 7's encounter with Hanare of the Jomei village. 5 Kage Summit. Naruto reflects on Sasuke with Kakashi and Sakura. While he does so, word reaches them that Danzo Shimura has become the new Hokage and that Danzo's first degree has been to allow Sasuke's disposal as a missing ninja, something Tsunade had never permitted. Naruto insists on trying to reason with Danzo, which Kakashi warns him will not work. When this indeed fails, Naruto decides to talk with the 4th Raikage instead, who has made it his goal to personally kill Sasuke. Despite the travel limitations in place due to the approaching 5 Kage summit, Kakashi and Yamato agree to accompany him. Kakashi neutralizes the Anbu assigned to keep an eye on Naruto, and Yamato plants his transmission board on Team Samui in order to follow them to the Raikage. When they find the Raikage in the Land of Iron, Kakashi, the only one amongst them that the Raikage recognizes, asks that Naruto be allowed to speak with him. The Raikage permits it, but even with his and Yamato's support, he refuses Naruto's request to forgive Sasuke's recent work with Akatsuki and leaves them. They stay at an inn nearby while deciding what to do, where Naruto is confronted by Tobi. Having inspected him, Kakashi and Yamato attack and restrain him, though he points out that he can escape whenever he wants. Rather than do that, he tells him about Sasuke's motivation, to take vengeance on Konoha for forcing Itachi to kill the Uchiha clan. They doubt what he's said regarding the Uchiha clan downfall, but Toby is unconcerned, leaving once he's finished saying to Naruto what he wanted to. Afterwards, Kakashi encourages that the three of them keep what Toby said between them until they knew more and if what Toby said was true. Naruto decides that the only course of action left is to speak with Sasuke himself. His attempt to locate Sasuke is interrupted by the arrival of Sai and Sakura, the latter of whom tells Naruto she loves him. Kakashi doubts that this is the real reason for coming all the way to the Land of Iron, which one of Sai's ink clones confirms after Sakura and her entourage leave. The rest of the Konoha 11 have decided that it's their responsibility as Sasuke's former friends to kill him before he sparks a war, a burden Sakura has taken for herself. Before they can go after her, they are met by Gaara and his bodyguards, who tell them about Sasuke's attack on the summit and Toby's declaration of the 4th Shinobi World War. Gaara also shares the 5 Kage's request that Kakashi represent Konoha going forward. Owing to Danzo's behavior, Naruto is overwhelmed by all the developments going on and passes out. Kakashi leaves Naruto with Yamato and has Sai's ink clone guide him to Sakura so he can stop her. The clone dissolves along the way, which he explains to be because Sakura knocked out the original Kakashi catches up with the time to stop Sasuke from killing him with Chidori. Kakashi tells Sakura that she doesn't need to take responsibility for Sasuke, since he, as Sasuke's former teacher, is much more to blame for the team's growing rift and current dire situation. He asks Sasuke one more time to let go of his thirst for vengeance, but Sasuke laughs in his face, having been too corrupted by Toby to be reasoned with any longer. As he prepares for battle, Kakashi remarks that he finally understands what the 3rd Hokage went through with Orochimaru. Sasuke uses his Susanoo to fire an arrow at Kakashi, which he warps away with Kamui. Sasuke is enraged by this use of an Uchiha ability and threatens to make Kakashi suffer. When he does so, Sakura approaches from behind to kill him, but ultimately cannot. Kakashi, tired from his attack, waits for time to save her from Sasuke's retaliation. Sakura is saved by Naruto. Kakashi tells Naruto to take Sakura away. Naruto thinks that Kakashi is going to kill Sasuke. Naruto instead restrains Kakashi and fights Sasuke himself. From the clash of their Chidori and Rasengan, as well as the following conversation, Naruto and Sasuke decide to temporarily suspend hostilities until later when they, and only they, will face each other in battle. Kakashi agrees to these terms, but insists on being allowed to eliminate Toby with Kamui when he comes to fetch Sasuke. Toby stops him, telling him it won't work, and leaves with Sasuke. 4th Shinobi World War. Countdown. When they get back to Konoha, Kakashi meets with the Konoha Council and tells them all what had happened, including Danzo's death at Sasuke's hand. Because Konoha now needs another Hokage, Kakashi reluctantly agrees to be the appointment. He is brought before the Fire Daimyo, but before anything can be made official, they receive news that Tsunade has woken up from her coma, therefore rendering the proceedings unnecessary. He meets with Tsunade later and thanks her for waking up before he got snapped with real responsibility. Power. In the anime, Kakashi is part of a force in the Hacho village of the rest of Ashina gets away by distracting him with reincarnated ninjas. Later, Kakashi meets the village leader, Dusanasu, who Kakashi recognizes as an old partner of Orochimaru. He trails Dusanasu leading Kabuto, who is trying to resurrect the Ama no Hoko. The fight breaks out when Kabuto notices them, at the conclusion of which Naruto defeats the nine-tailed Naruto clone. They are afterwards able to deactivate the Ama no Hoko, though Kabuto himself escapes once again. Paradise Life on a boat. In the anime, as Konoha starts preparing for the looming war, Kiba Inuzuka asks Kakashi to train him. Kakashi provides his Ninken to Kiba in his place, believing that they'll be more useful to him. Later, Kakashi receives an apparent distress signal from Might Guy, who is escorting Naruto to the island Turtle. Kakashi rushes off to lend assistance, only to be told on arrival that the SOS was sent accidentally when Guy was struggling with seasickness. Unneeded, Kakashi returns to the village. 4th Shinobi World War. Confrontation. Kakashi is appointed as commander of the Allied Shinobi Force's 3rd Division. In anime, he requests that Guy be his second in command. The 3rd Division is mobilized ahead of the other divisions in order to be on hand for any eventuality. While seeking out the constant force, they notice and head towards one of the surprise attack division's distress flares. The 3rd Division arrives in time to save them from the reincarnated Gari, Kakura, Haku, and Zabuza Momochi. Haku and Zabuza recognize Kakashi and Sakura, who is also in the 3rd Division, and ask how Naruto is doing. Kabuto, their summoner, ends their conversation short by suppressing their personalities, so Haku and Zabuza use their last moment for Kakashi to defeat them. Zabuza uses the hiding in this technique to hide his and Naruto's movements, putting the 3rd Division on the defensive. Kakashi attack strategy and formulate a response. The other reincarnated members of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of course appear on the battlefield before Kakashi has a chance to put his plan. Despite mounting casualties, Kakashi sticks to his original plan. He sneaks up on Zabuza and attacks him with lightning damage, intending to dispel the heavy mist. Like the last time they fought, Haku shields the attack and Zabuza cuts at Kakashi through his Kubikiri Bocho. Kakashi avoids injury and attacks with another lightning cutter, this time hitting Zabuza and also connecting Ensuinara's shadow to his. With Zabuza immobilized and Haku damaged, both are bound by the secret. Kakashi, upset by how Zabuza and Haku were used for purposes, takes up the Kubikiri Bocho and promises to live up to his reputation as the conqueror of 1,000 jutsu. With the mist gone, the swordsman seemingly retreats. Kakashi takes this opportunity to allow his team to rest and recuperate. The next day, in anime, Kakashi defeats Akabino, and later teams up with Guy to defeat Hachi Munashi and Kushimaru Kurirai until they are also sealed. By the time he helps Sai seal Fuguki Suikazan, only 3 reincarnated shinobi remain. Part of the White Sensu army then arrive to fight the 3rd division, but they're met by one of Naruto's shadow clones, sent to lend assistance with the remnants of Akatsuki's forces. 4th Shinobi World War. Climax. Kakashi and Guy eventually leave the 3rd division to join the original Naruto and Killer B in their fight with Tobi, arriving in time to stop Tobi from capturing Naruto. Seeing that Tobi has 6 reincarnated Kakashi theorizes that they each possess 6 paths techniques, just as the 6 paths of pain do. When fighting them, however, none of them use any of these techniques, leading Kakashi to believe that Tobi doesn't have the energy for it. Tobi can at least still use their tailed beast's powers, so he forces the 4 tails and 6 tails to enter tailed beast modes. Unable to do anything against such large opponents, Kakashi and Guy lead them to Naruto. After Naruto is able to free the 4 tails from Tobi's control, he forces the other Jinchuriki to enter tailed beast modes as well. As 5 tailed beast balls bear down on them, Kakashi considers trying to use Kamui. It ends up not being necessary, as Naruto, by entering his own tailed beast mode, blocks their attacks and subsequently frees them from Tobi. Tobi is forced to recall the tailed beasts into the demonic statue of the outer path, which he uses against Naruto, Kakashi, and Guy. Fighting continues on into the night, with neither side emerging victorious. When a light descends on the reincarnated Jinchuriki, a sign that the impure world has been cancelled, Tobi takes drastic action and prematurely initiates the 10 Tails revival. When they realize what Tobi's doing, Kakashi and the others focus on destroying the demonic statue before it can complete its metamorphosis into the 10 Tails. Tobi defends the demonic statue from all their attacks, and as ever, is himself seemingly impervious to damage, with everything passing through him. After an exchange of attacks, of which Kakashi blocks Tobi's with Kamui, Kakashi notices some slight damage to Tobi's mask. Having a theory about this, he has Guy and Naruto help him test it and is ultimately able to confirm. Attacks warped away with Kamui at the same moment that Tobi is impervious will damage Tobi, thereby suggesting a link between their abilities. Kakashi asks where Tobi acquired his Sharingan, to which he replies it was on the same mission to the Kanabi Bridge that Kakashi got his own. Kakashi is troubled by what this might mean, but doesn't overlook the important fact that they now have a way of fighting Tobi. Kakashi secretly uses Kamui on Naruto's shadow clones to send it to Kamui's dimension, which, when Tobi retreats there to escape the real Naruto's attack, attacks Tobi and destroys his mask. When they see his face, Guy and Kakashi recognize Tobi as Obito Uchiha. Kakashi is devastated to discover that the friend whose death he's mourned for over a decade is actually alive. Kakashi asks Obito why he never returned to Konoha, to which Obito replies it's because Kakashi allowed Rin Nohara to die. Obito assures Kakashi that he doesn't blame him for the world's flaws before attacking him with Fire Release Blast Wave Wild Dance. Obito is soon joined by a reincarnated Madara Uchiha, who decides to take Naruto's 9 Tails and Killer Bee's 8 Tails before the 10 Tails is revived. Kakashi, meanwhile, tries to question Obito more, who ignores him and instead uses his own Kamui on Kakashi. Kakashi figures out how to use Kamui to return, prompting Obito to try and kill him. Naruto blocks the attack and vows not to let his teammates die. Naruto's words remind Kakashi of the Obito he used to know, inspiring him to join the offensive again. After the 9 Tails replenishes his chakra, Kakashi lets Obito send him to Kamui's dimension, where he attacks Obito's body parts whenever they transport there to avoid Naruto's attacks. He then uses Kamui to return, only to witness the 10 Tails complete its revival. Obito and Madara attach themselves to the 10 Tails, focusing its destructive power against Kakashi and the others. Just as they're about to be killed, the combined allied shinobi forces arrive to help, deflecting the Ten-Tails tailed beast ball. Sakura heals Kakashi before they join the allies' coordinated effort to restrain the Ten-Tails, but it breaks free by transforming. Many die in the Ten-Tails counterattack, but another coordinated assault successfully removes the Ten-Tails from Madara and Obito's control. Now free to act on its own, the Ten-Tails prepares to use Tenpenchi. Kakashi attempts to stop it with Kamui, but Obito intercepts him and takes him to Kamui's dimension. When they get there, Kakashi lunges at Obito with a lightning cutter, but stops short of actually killing him with it. When Obito accuses him of having a guilty conscience, Kakashi tries to explain the circumstances of Rin's death, but Obito is already aware that she chose to die. That fact alone convinces Obito that the world as is not worth protecting. Accepting that Obito's mind can't be changed, Kakashi attacks in order to protect the world that the Obito he used to know cared about. After a prolonged exchange, Kakashi pierces Obito's heart with a lightning-infused kunai. Obito escapes and Kakashi, similarly badly damaged, collapses. Birth of the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki. As Kakashi treats his wounds, he catches brief glimpses of what Obito sees due to their common Sharingan, his fight with Naruto and Sasuke. Kakashi ponders Obito's persistence in trying to convince Naruto that his actions are justified, and concludes that Obito himself is not actually convinced that they are. He returns to the battle just after Obito's defeat, prepared to personally finish him off, but is stopped by a reincarnated Minato Namikaze. Having sensed the same misgivings in Obito that Kakashi did, Minato convinces Kakashi to try yet again to speak with him. Kakashi acknowledges that Rin's death is proof of a flawed system that may not be possible to fix, but he believes that Naruto should be at least given a chance to try since he still has friends to empower him. Obito decides to put the same faith in Naruto that Kakashi has, and in order to make up for all that he's done, prepares to use the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique to revive everyone that has died. Because this will cost Obito his life, Kakashi tries to convince him to find another way to make amends. But Obito replies that he doesn't deserve such an easy solution. As he's performing the technique, however, Obito's body is taken over by Black Zetsu. Kakashi and Minato are confused by what's happened, so Obito explains that he's been forced to revive Madara instead. Black Zetsu then attempts to take Obito's Rinnegan, but the presence of Kakashi and Minato prevents it from safely doing so. It decides instead to fully take control of Obito's body so they can attack it without damaging Obito too. As they wait, the demonic statue of the Outer Path is summoned by Madara from Obito's body. Kakashi tries to use Kamui on it, but succeeds only in removing its right arm. Obito briefly regains control for long enough to implore Kakashi to destroy his Rinnegan so Madara can acquire that too. Just as Kakashi and Minato psych themselves up to do so, they are met by Gaara and Sakura, who are working to keep Naruto alive after Madara removed the Nine-Tails from his body. Gaara asks Minato to seal his half of the Nine-Tails chakra into Naruto in order to save his life. Black Zetsu intercepts the transfer and takes the Nine-Tails for itself. Madara, now the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki, soon arrives to see what's taking Black Zetsu so long. Black Zetsu attempts to go to him, but Obito reasserts control over his body and forces it to stay. Obito decides that he will help save Naruto. He first steals fragments of Madara's chakra and then instructs Kakashi to send Naruto and Sakura to Kamui's dimension. He plans to go there to join Naruto, but his own Kamui is slow enough for Madara to stop him. Kakashi, by using Kamui on Obito at the same time that he uses it on himself, is able to accelerate the teleportation and allow him to get away. The attack that misses Obito nearly kills Kakashi, but he's saved by Guy. Aware of how few options they have, Guy decides to use the 8 Gates released formation over Kakashi's protests. Because Guy's time is limited, Kakashi, Minato, Gaara, and Rock Lee combine efforts to neutralize as many of Madara's truth-seeking balls as they can. Kakashi, carried by Gaara, warps away a part of a defensive wall Madara erects around himself. In the end, Guy badly injures Madara before he collapses, but fails to defeat him. Madara is stopped from finishing Guy off by Naruto's return, who Obito successfully saved. Naruto and Sasuke team up against Madara, putting him on the defensive and making him desperate for the Rinnegan in Obito's possession. Having no other options, Madara takes Kakashi's Sharingan and, upon implanting it in himself, uses Kamui to go after Obito. Sakura is teleported back shortly afterwards, Obito's attempt to save her. She prepares to treat Kakashi's eye, but Naruto steps in and uses his 6 Paths chakra to restore Kakashi's original eye. As they wait for Madara's inevitable return, Kakashi reminds them of their first lesson as Team 7, the importance of teamwork. Madara eventually returns, Black Zetsu using his control over Obito's body to teleport them back. Kakashi watches as his students attack Madara, but aren't able to stop him from casting the infinite Tsukiyomi. Kaguya Otsutsuki strikes. While the world around them falls to the infinite Tsukiyomi, Sasuke uses his own Rinnegan to shield Naruto, Sakura, and Kakashi from its effects. When they emerge, they find Madara has bound the world's population with God, nativity of a world of trees, and trapped them all within perpetual dreams. Madara confronts them and insists that he has ended all conflicts, and that only Team 7, as the only remaining opposition, would seek to renew the cycle of death that plagued the world for centuries. As he's talking, Madara is stabbed from behind by Black Zetsu, who transfers to him from Obito's body to convert him into Kaguya Otsutsuki, Black Zetsu's true master. Kaguya, the origin of chakra, now has access to the chakra supplies of everyone trapped in the infinite Tsukiyomi. She wants Team 7's chakra as well, so she transports them to one of Kaguya's dimensions, a sea of lava. Sasuke saves Naruto from falling in the lava. Kakashi grabs Sakura, ties himself to an unconscious Obito with a scroll, and pins Obito to a wall in order to do the same. The heat causes the scroll to burn up, but Naruto sends a shadow clone to catch them. Unable to continue, Kakashi only watches as Naruto and Sasuke fight Kaguya. Sakura and Obito, once he wakes up, lend support, but Kaguya keeps shifting dimensions in her attempt to defeat them. Kaguya eventually moves them into a dimension with powerful gravity, limiting Naruto and Sasuke's movements while she attacks them with all-killing ash bones. Prepared to give his life to lend what little assistance he can, Kakashi stands in front of Sasuke to take the attack while Obito does the same for Naruto. Although they are unified in their willingness to die, Obito decides it's too soon for Kakashi and uses Kamui on the attack bound for him, leaving Obito unable to save himself. Obito's body dissolves, but his spirit returns shortly afterwards and inhabits Kakashi. Obito feels that Kakashi will become the next Hokage and wishes to reward him by letting Kakashi use his 2 Mangekyo Sharingan. With his Mangekyo, Kakashi is able to manifest Susanoo. He first uses it to save Sakura from Kaguya, and then uses Kamui Shuriken to save Naruto and Sasuke. When Kaguya creates an expansive truth-seeking ball to finally kill them all, Kakashi pierces through her with Kamui Lightning Cutter. Naruto uses Shadow Clones to exhaust some of her countermeasures, and Kakashi uses Kamui on the rest. Sasuke moves closer to her in order to place a seal on her. Sakura punches her when she tries to escape. Kaguya is defeated. Black Zetsu with 6 paths, Chibaku Tensei. The Sage of 6 Paths summons them all back from Kaguya's dimensions and congratulates them for their victory. As his spirit leaves Kakashi's body, Obito apologizes for everything he did when he was alive, but Kakashi states that he's glad they rekindled their friendship before the end. The Sage of 6 Paths explains how Naruto and Sasuke can end the infinite Tsukiyomi, but Sasuke has one intention before, killing the tailed beasts and the 5 Kage. Kakashi is dismayed, assuming Sasuke is still after revenge. Sasuke replies that he only wants to change the world for the better, making hard decisions like this so the world won't get embroiled in another war. Too exhausted to do anything himself, Kakashi stays behind with Sakura while Naruto and Sasuke leave to fight. The Sage of 6 Paths uses his last moments to talk with Kakashi, remarking that the centuries of hate may be on the verge of Naruto and Sasuke in the Valley of the End, where the Sage's words have proven true. Naruto has convinced Sasuke to give up his intention. Sakura heals their injuries, and they proceed to the infinite Tsukiyomi in the end before the Shinobi War. Upon returning to the village, Kakashi attends the mass funeral for the casualties of the war. In the wake of the village recovering from the war, Kakashi succeeds Tsunade and becomes the 6th Hokage, although he is dismayed with the amount of paperwork. Soon after, in the anime, he offers Naruto the chance to become a Jonin at the cost of him spending 2 years studying. Blank period. In the anime, Kakashi and Tsunade stopped by the Konoha military police force from exposing the identities of everyone connected to Root in the aftermath of the group disbanding, in order to avoid suspicion among villagers thinking each other were former members. Kakashi Hiden, lightning in the icy sky. Nearly a year after the war, Kakashi has yet to officially take on the duties of being Hokage, feeling he's unqualified, leaving Tsunade to continue managing Konoha's affairs. Kakashi later leaves for a mission in the Land of Waves. There, Kakashi oversees security for the Tobi Shachimaru's maiden voyage. As the ship closes in on, Kakashi spots someone sneaking aboard, discovering it to be Might Guy, who has always wanted to fly. Kakashi finds somewhere out of the way for them to ride out the trip. During the voyage, the Tobi Shachimaru is hijacked by the Ryuha Armament Alliance, who demand that Konoha release their leader, Gario, from the Blood Prison, vowing to kill the hostages and destroy the Tobi Shachimaru if their demands aren't met. Kakashi summons his Ninken to seek out the explosives planted around the ship and confronts the hijackers. Kaio remotely kills through hostile ice, forcing Kakashi to surrender and kill. Guy soon appears to fight the leader of the hijackers, Ryo, keeping him busy so that Kakashi can free himself from his restraints without being noticed. Kakashi is prevented from helping Guy by the appearance of Kaio. Aware that the Armament Alliance was originally motivated by the death of Kaio's innocent son, Kakashi tries to point out that the Armament Alliance's actions do not threaten innocent passengers. Kaio is upset by Kakashi's observation and attacks with ice release, earthen consecutive chains of ice, creating a hole in the ship that starts sucking up Kakashi, Guy, and the passengers. Before he falls from the ship, Kakashi notices Kaio's mask has come off, who he recognizes as the woman he helped before. Kakashi to safety and Kakashi back to the Tobishachimaru. When Kakashi returns, Ryo is threatening to allow a sick child to die, believing it's a fair trade for the death of Kaio's son. Kakashi attempts to stop him, but is immediately bound by chains of ice that Kaio planted on him earlier. Kakashi reasons with Kaio and convinces her to let Sai take the child to a doctor. Kakashi is afterwards locked away. While breaking out, he concludes that the hijackers plan to turn the passengers into human bombs. Kakashi confronts Ryo about this, and Kaio, unaware that this was intended, is aghast. Kaio attacks Kakashi and removes the chains of ice so he can fight back, but he stops short of killing her when he realizes that's what she wants out of revenge for her actions. The damaged Tobishachimaru starts rocking violently, flinging Ryo from the ship, and then rises into the air uncontrollably, threatening to suffocate everyone aboard. Kakashi and Kaio puncture the helium sacs, keeping the ship afloat, and Kaio attempts to control its descent with her ice. When she runs out of moisture with which to make ice, Kakashi leaps from the ship into a storm cloud, using purple electricity to produce rain. He is saved by the third Tsuchikage, who delivers him to the ground. Kakashi watches as the Konoha 11 recapture prisoners escaping during the Armament Alliance's breakout and feels that the generation will someday replace his own. Kakashi feels that he, as Hokage, would like to watch over things until they're ready. Konoha's ninjas search the crashed Tobishachimaru, treating the passengers and taking Kaio into custody. Tsunade threatens to have her executed since she is the highest ranking conspirator to survive the failed jailbreak, but Kakashi requests that he be allowed to pass sentence instead. What would be his first act as Hokage? Kaio will stay at the blood prison for the rest of her life, acting as warden by using her chains of ice on the prisoners. Both Tsunade and Kaio agree to these terms. With his status as Hokage and Naruto's testimony, Kakashi pardons Sasuke and releases him from prison. He and Sakura see Sasuke off as he leaves Konoha to wander the world, with Kakashi requesting him not to cause too much trouble. Shikamaru Hiden, a cloud drifting in silent darkness. The Shinobi Union that emerged after the end of the Fourth Shinobi World War created an unprecedented peace between the ninja villages. 2 years after the end of the war, that peace is threatened by the emergence of the Land of Silence. Kakashi sent Sai and a team of Anbu to the Land of Silence to investigate, but all go missing. The last communique suggests the Land of Silence's leader, Gengo, must be behind it all. In order to protect the Shinobi Union's interests, Gengo must be assassinated, a task Shikamaru Nara volunteers for. Kakashi assigns 2 Anbu, Ro and Soku, to assist Shikamaru on what is otherwise to be a top-secret mission. Naruto becomes concerned when Shikamaru fails to return from his mission and barges into Kakashi's office demanding an explanation. Kakashi attempts to maintain the mission's secrecy, but eventually relents, even allowing other Konoha personnel to go to the Land of Silence. Shikamaru is rescued, and when he returns to Konoha, Kakashi gives him a week off. The last, Naruto the movie. 2 years after the Fourth Shinobi World War, Kakashi attends a 5 Kage summit to discuss the imminent crashing of the moon. Shortly after he returns to Konoha, Hanabi Hyuga is kidnapped by Toneri Otsutsuki. Kakashi sends the Hanabi rescue team to save her. He also gives them a special clock that counts down to the moon's collision, asking that they stop it if Toneri is in any way connected. In the following days, meteors increasingly rain down on the world, and the Kage decide that the moon must be destroyed. When Sasuke returns an injured Hisashi Hyuga to Konoha, Hisashi reports that Hanabi, and by extension her rescuers, are on the moon. Kakashi reports this to the other Kage, who decide to delay the moon's destruction in order to give Naruto and the others a chance to save them. Naruto ultimately succeeds, using the Nine Tails to carve a mission-complete message into the moon's surface. Sakura Hiden, thoughts of love riding upon a spring breeze. After separate attacks are made on Homura Mitokado and the Land of Fire's daimyo, Kakashi assigns Sai to intervene. Kakashi believes that Kido Sumaki might be somehow involved, so recommends that Sai focus on him. A few days later, Sakura returns from a visit to Sunagakure with rumors that Sasuke had been plotting against Konoha. Neither he nor Sakura believe it's really Sasuke, so he assigns Sakura and Ino Yamanaka to look into the lookalike. As the rumors start spreading, Kakashi attempts to contact Sasuke to ask if he knows anything, but his inquiries are not answered. Kakashi informs Sakura that the Raikage is contemplating a Kage summit on the rumors and the possibility of hunting down Sasuke. Sai eventually reports that his investigation is apparently the same as Sakura's, so Kakashi combines them into the Ino Saku Sai. Konoha Hiden, the perfect day for a wedding. Kakashi is invited to Naruto's marriage with Hinata Hyuga. He plans to go, but worries that Naruto and Hinata's friends might not be able to attend due to their mission assignments. He therefore gives everyone an assignment to bring a gift to the wedding, thereby ensuring that they will all be available. On the day of the wedding, Kakashi greets foreign guests such as Killer Bee and the 5th Kazukage. Sasuke Shinden, Book of Sunrise. Kakashi informs Naruto, Sakura, and Sai that more than 100 Kumo and Kiri shinobi have gone missing, and learns from Sakura that a few Konoha shinobi are missing as well. Sai informs Kakashi that he had been in contact with Sasuke, whom Kakashi had previously asked to lead the investigation into the disappearances, due to that only his ocular powers can cancel genjutsu, and Kumo Gakure and Kiri Gakure had agreed to cooperate in the investigation. Kakashi surmises that a genjutsu user captured the missing shinobi and is using genjutsu on them to attack the hidden villages. The village is then attacked by intruders, and Kakashi orders his former students to join with Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino in order to help stop the intruders, whom he later learns are some of the missing shinobi. Once the shinobi are defeated and captured, Kakashi sends a message of the incident to Sasuke, who's traveling to the Land of Lightning and stops at a village in the Land of Hot Water. Sasuke, in turn, sends a letter about his suspicions about the Dark Thunder group being involved. Kakashi has Yamato meet with Sasuke to exchange intel on the situation. Kakashi receives a message from Sasuke that he captured the true culprits, Chino and Noaki in Yugakure. After Sasuke drops him off at another village, Kakashi arrives to meet with the two, but explains he received a good word from Sasuke about them. Rather than putting them in prison, he is offering them a chance to atone by working for Kumo Gakure and Kiri Gakure, which they accept. New era. On the day of Naruto's Hokage inauguration, he fails to show up, having been knocked out earlier. With no time left to wait, Kakashi has Konohamaru Sarutobi impersonate Naruto so that the festivities can proceed as planned. Retired from active duty, Kakashi continued to assist in village matters and advise his successor. Academy Entrance Arc. In the anime, when learning about the mysterious attacks in the village, Kakashi begins investigating the incident and learns that it involves a root project. Upon reporting his findings to Naruto at the Hokage office, the two discuss the investigation of Shikamaru. Realizing the secret plan to unleash Nue on the village upon completion, Kakashi went in search of the rogue student. Arriving at Senju Park, Kakashi immediately severed the creature's tails, resulting in the spontaneous emergence of dozens of smaller tails, which it used to steal chakra from Sai's men. After saving them, Kakashi organized the team to hold off the creature. As Naruto arrives, Kakashi stops him from fighting, explaining that the creature's intention was to gather enough chakra to produce a powerful explosion to destroy the village. As the shinobi attempt to subdue the beast, it teleports away, much to Kakashi's surprise. Kakashi deduced that while this creature was a summoning, it uniquely existed normally in a separate dimension, leaving others unable to follow it. Konoha Shinden, Steam Ninja Scrolls. On the day of the Kage Summit in Konoha, Kakashi leaves for the Land of Hot Water with Guy and Mirai Sarutobi. Later, the group arrived in the Land of Hot Water. There they found annual festival/competition where a town was split between two beliefs on its origins, some believing that there is a cat spirit and others believed it to be a dog spirit. Mirai stopped the chaos by producing a fire release in unison with the genjutsu to form a cat-dog spirit, which told the townspeople to stop the feuding. When Guy believed the genjutsu to be a demon and attacked it, he accidentally knocked down the main wall that split the town, thereby convincing the villagers that it was a sign for them to truly come together. Afterwards, Kakashi applauded Mirai on combining the signature skills of her parents. During a stop at an inn, they met a young orphan named Tatsumi, who, despite having no money, was determined to visit all the hot springs in the land in memory of her late mother. At Mirai's request, it was agreed that the little girl could join them on their trip. Later, during the trip, Tatsumi and Mirai snuck off in the hopes of a nearby hot spring rumored to let people talk with loved ones from the past. Kakashi and Guy soon found them, learning that the rumored hot spring was a ruse conceived by remnants of the near-forgotten Jashin cult to restore their former glory and power. Kakashi, along with Guy and Mirai, swiftly defeated the fanatics. Later, it was revealed that Kakashi and Guy's vacation was in fact a cover for their working with the Land of Hot Water to uncover the truth behind the missing girls. Graduation exams arc. Offering his services as a proctor for the upcoming graduation exams, Kakashi disguised himself as Sukiya, a freelance reporter who interviewed various students to better understand their respective nature. After classes, Kakashi met up with Boruto, who helped him meet with the students. As Boruto was amazed that his classmates all had plans for the future, some as ninja and some decided to pursue goals outside ninja work, Kakashi noted that while the world had become in less need of ninja skills can prove valuable in other fields. He also noted that regardless, one must always decide on goals if they wish to grow as individuals. Later, talking to Iruka in his office, Iruka suggested that Kakashi not be too hard on the students come the final exams. Kakashi clarifies that even in peaceful times, they can't allow students with contemptuous attitudes to become shinobi, and as such will be as challenging as ever. During the practical test of the exams, the students were left awe-stricken that the 6th Hokage was to be their head proctor. It was explained that while Shino Aburame, Hanako Terashi, and Konohamaru Sarutobi would be evaluating the students' respective performances in a 24-hour field combat, ultimately only one student could pass. That student would be the one who takes a single bell from Kakashi's hip. While others were annoyed by this, Kakashi insisted that they had already had enough shinobi in this era of peace. As the test began, many of the students began to scramble. Boruto soon found Kakashi and attacked hard, but the legendary ninja easily saw through his tactics. While admitting that Boruto was truly a genius well above the rest of his generation, he still lacked a very crucial aspect to deserve being a ninja, quickly pinning the Uzumaki down. Kakashi explained that a ninja with no resolve will only doom themselves, and that Boruto is solely responsible for his classmates becoming so lazy and carefree. To prove his point, he revealed himself as Sukiya from earlier, showing how well he knows Boruto. As Boruto continued to struggle free from the 6th hold, his fellow classmates provided enough distraction for him to escape. Later, having listened to the nature of Kakashi's words, but also to the encouragement of his friends, Boruto conceived a plan to save the captured classmates and pass the test, realizing the true nature behind it. Boruto designed a group assault on Kakashi, but he quickly saw through the facade, easily repelling the entire class's group assault on him. However, this was a trick that drew Kakashi into a group string-light formation. Deeply impressed, Kakashi attempted to repel them with a lightning burst, but the students refused to let the technique be broken, even when knocked to the ground. Ultimately, time ran out before anyone could get the bell. Despite Boruto's plan failing, Kakashi passed everyone, cheerfully noting while they actually had zero chance of taking the bell, they succeeded in the true goal of the test: teamwork and loyalty. Naruto Shinden, Parent and Child Day. When Konohagakure began a new holiday, Parent and Child Day, Kakashi discovered that the constantly traveling Sasuke had returned to the village and was struggling to connect with his daughter. Realizing that Sasuke hardly knew anything about his daughter since he had been away for most of her life, Kakashi decided to help out using ideas from his Icha series. Soon realizing that these ideas were better suited for a romantic couple, as they only succeeded in further estranging Sasuke from his daughter and even making Sasuke more furious at Kakashi, the retired Hokage suggested asking Sakura for advice since she knows her family better. Versus Momoshiki arc. As investigations on Kaguya continued, it was discovered that her creation of the White Zetsu army was an extra precaution for a looming threat. Sometime after attending a village meeting with Naruto, Kakashi attends the finals for the Chunin exams in Konoha alongside Guy and Iruka. When the stadium is attacked by Kinshiki and Momoshiki Otsutsuki, Kakashi helps rescue spectators in the arena. Mitsuki's disappearance arc. In the anime, after the defeat of the attackers and Konohagakure's recovery from the attack, a Kage summit was held. Kakashi and the other retired Kage were in attendance to discuss the still looming threat of the Otsutsuki. The next morning, when 2 Chunin Gate guards were attacked by unknown assailants, the village was put on lockdown. Kakashi joined Naruto and his advisors when overseeing Ino probe one of the guards' minds for answers, learning that Mitsuki had left willingly with the attackers. When Naruto revealed to the others Mitsuki was in fact Orochimaru's son, much outrage followed from learning that Naruto would permit an offspring of the man who killed the 3rd Hokage live in Konohagakure, let alone keep it a secret. Naruto rationalized this on the grounds that Orochimaru's conduct had changed from before and for his aid in investigating the Otsutsuki. Despite this, noting the unpredictable nature of Orochimaru, the meeting ended and deemed the Oto-born boy as a threat. As the council and Hokage continued to talk about how to best deal with this, Kakashi voiced his overall approval of Naruto's actions, noting that Naruto would never do anything he thought would bring danger to the village, and that the elders wouldn't even consider letting the boy in the village had they known the full story to begin with. Kara Actuation Arc. In the anime, Kakashi felt a bad air about him, worrying that things were going to get difficult for him. Kakashi's fears were soon realized when Boruto approached him for help. He got Ibiki Morino to transfer Shojoji from prison to a police facility to face off against Boruto. While Ibiki was concerned by this, Kakashi promised to take full responsibility. As Shojoji reminded Kakashi of the terms of their agreement, Kakashi swore to keep his word to reduce Shojoji's sentence, but that also meant that Shojoji would have to actually defeat Boruto. During the match, Shojoji's wind-release Shield of the Wind count proved to be as powerful against Boruto's attacks as previously. This prompted Boruto to use his new Compression Rasengan. It was able to overpower Shojoji's defenses and swiftly defeat him. As Kakashi commended Boruto for coming up with the alternate plan to condense his Rasengan rather than expand it, Boruto collapsed as his long hours of training caught up to him, still impressing Kakashi with Boruto's capacities. Kakashi brought Boruto back to the hospital to recover. Upon his awakening, Kakashi applauded Boruto's accomplishments but warned him of the dangers of his new technique, noting that the Compression Rasengan comes with great recoil that can cause great strain on his arm. It is not a technique that Boruto should use often. Did you enjoy our video? Make sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Why waste 100 nights testing a mattress? Head into Ashley Home Store and experience your new mattress in a box before you buy it. Then simply order online or from your local store. Click the link to have better sleep shipped free to your door. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
All they do is overlook me. Yeah, the things don't pan out, keep it cooking. You're not a fan, but you keep on looking. Look, don't be concerned with what people saying. Be concerned when they don't care to say it. Funny how people will act like they know you, but they don't even got a clue what they're saying.
Yeehaw, soldiers! It's your boy the Sage coming at you with another video, and this is with Naruto as half Uchiha, half Senju. You guys wanted this as a new series, so well, 2 years ago. Now, this is something that should be interesting to write, as this might be the first series that Naruto essentially has some really good genetics in this one. His canon counterpart, he had half his blood, which is definitely useful, but also has blood. So let's see what happens if we switch Naruto's genetics around. But before we get into all that, I need to let you guys know that is that time of the week. And my policy, of course, for this script to get to my continuation is 1K views. That's it. You know, but to what I'm referring to, by the way, you guys know my schedule. The experiment started last week. We also had our community post I posted earlier today, so I will link that in the description. Speaking on my community tab, watch like a hawk as opposed to updates, polls, and other fun stuff in between, so watch that like a hawk. Now it's time for quick social media plugs. Twitter is at MSH4. Twitter is a great place for you guys to interact with me, as I do tweet a lot, and it acts as a way for you guys to post videos. So follow me on Twitter. Instagram is anime_sage4. Instagram is a great place for you guys to interact with me, as I do post pretty frequently on there. So follow me on Instagram. Finally, join my Discord server, and if you join my Discord server, you get access to supplementary content, notifications when I live stream ahead of time, and you can suggest to me ideas directly. It's also a great way for you guys to interact with me, so join my Discord server. Link to it will be in the description. Since this is a new series, there will be no usual checklist. So let's get right into the story. Alright, so you guys may want to hope for some form of a complex way for Naruto to have Uchiha, or actually have Senju, whichever way you put it. But, well, no, we will do it old-fashioned. Minato is going to be Uchiha, and Kushina is going to be Senju, which means, unfortunately, she doesn't have that amazing red hair, but sacrifices must be made before Naruto can be powerful. Now, for story purposes, Naruto will have wood release Sharingan. We all know that just because you are in the Senju clan or in the Uchiha clan, it doesn't really mean you can, get the Keke Genkai. However, for story purposes, and again for entertainment purposes, he will have both of those. Because what is the point of giving him those bloodlines and not giving him the Keke Genkai associated with those clans? Well, now it is time for the actual plot. Instead of Senju clan essentially dying out, it's nothing. How about they sometimes stay alive while it's the point between is one of the survivors and is instead Senju versus being Uzumaki. Ashina will still have the Nine Tails, as Senju can have large chakra reserves. She will then meet Minato Uchiha. Minato in this game is essentially an orphan, as we have seen the orphan Uchiha before, Obito Uchiha. However, he is a lot more talented than Obito because, well, he's Minato. Minato and Ashina actually have a nice connection together, and their love story will be kind of around the same. Ashina will be seen as a tough person, and people will like her black hair, but her tough attitude kind of rubs people the wrong way. Except, of course, my boy Minato. Minato will be seen as a massive prodigy, and is able to have easier time reading or Sengon because Sharingan. He will also have more proficiency in Genjutsu, and will have a wider array of ninjutsu. He will still have the same Chakra natures, which were fire, lightning, and wind, and he will also be a lot more powerful, because he is kind of that powerful, stuff like that. And yeah, he's more powerful than canon version, which is nuts. Kushina will have the earth and water Chakra nature, or she can't really use a Heavy Genkai, but as the Chakra in between, or she has a gene Genkai the baby will not only have Sharingan, but also wood release. Yes, anyway, let's go to Obito. There's better relationship between Minato and Obito because not only are they both orphans, but they are also just wanting to hurt Minato when Obito is crushed by the rock. Or does he? Yes, unfortunately, Obito is that. I would have Minato unlock Mangekyo Sharingan here, but let's just say I don't want him to go down that rabbit hole himself. Even more guys are going blind and going to something else. Anyways, everything I'm going to say is point. As Ashina gets, well, she's announced pregnant, Minato celebrates, and 9 months go by with Obito planning to do which is huge for Uchiha clan, as Minato is now the first Uchiha to ever become a Kage. So they're going to pick Orochimaru, the Uchiha clan, and the village, which is good for everybody. And then, it all goes extremely wrong. The Nine-Tailed Fox attack happens, as soon as it's still taken, after Obito holds baby Naruto hostage. Obito will still get crushed by Minato, but Minato wastes too much time, so he has to Reaper Death Seal, which means goodbye Minato and Kushina. Now, since a certain Senju is outside the village, there is only one clan that can logically inherit Naruto, Uchiha. What are they going to do? Make a plan for it? No way! He would never happen, right? So Hiruzen sends him to the Uchiha clan and tells him that he deserves Minato, so let's take Fugaku and Ikoku. Having midlife crisis, because of the mixing blood loss. However, because of the Nine-Tailed attack, the Uchiha clan are being persecuted again. Just when the relationship between the clan and the village finally improves, it all goes down the drain. Naruto growing up actually does have a somewhat normal life, and his season relationships with his stepbrothers Itachi Uchiha and Sasuke Uchiha. Or people will give him roles because he is part of the Uchiha clan, but he won't remember this. Because he's way too young to remember it, just like he was way too young to remember the type of treatment he had as an orphan, which was very nice. However, the real change occurs when he is 4 years old. This is when Gonzo decides to spill the beans about Naruto's prisoners, the Nine-Tails. Naruto will definitely remember the years of torment and while he does have parents to help him out, let's just say they have ulterior Fox. The reason for this is pretty obvious, as he was more worried as one big man because he has again. When Fugaku brings this information to Hiruzen does apologize and begs that Fugaku keep Naruto, which Fugaku will say, of course I will. Naruto will never do that to him. He's never lied to me. Hiruzen thanks Fugaku lied about everything. You see, Fugaku was already by him being half Senju, and he had a couple weeks ago displayed someone like Woodley's ability. Well, very, very minor. He was then promised to never show it to anyone outside the planet to say so. Although they did notify him of this, and he was happy to see that the wood release of Genkai is returning to the leaf fields naturally. changes everything. They can mold Naruto into a weapon and use him against the village. Makoto will unfortunately go along with this, as we remember her being very compliant in the Uchiha coup. Naruto, when he is old enough, so around 5 to 6 years old, is training really hard. And I mean really hard, sometimes too hard to the point of exhaustion. Sasuke would be jealous by the attention Naruto is receiving, however, he is Sasuke at times goes against his father, saying this is too much for the kid. However, Fugaku stands his ground and Itachi has to live to fight another day. This quote-unquote training will make Naruto stronger, yes, but it is for the wrong reasons. His best days are when he is playing with his brothers and again Itachi and Sasuke. It's a form of comfort for Naruto as well as the meals Makoto makes. If only he wasn't pushed so much. By the time he is around 8, he enters the academy along with Sasuke. Both are a center of attention because they both come from very prominent clans. This means Naruto has the attention of many girls, as if you are Sasuke's brother, well, you know how it goes. However, there is one girl we all know and love, later. Naruto and Sasuke both want to be as good as Itachi, and Itachi takes out as an outlet, although both want to be good. Naruto because Itachi is a source of comfort, while Sasuke because he wants to protect his father, also helping out Naruto because he kind of wants him to get a break, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not overwork the child, right? You know what I'm saying? Naruto and Sasuke are both able to get the fireball tattoos down pretty easily, and I was pretty impressed by both of them. But mostly praise them to he also gets the praise, which is good. Now, speaking of fire, let me get into Naruto's chakra. Genkai. This comes from all the genes that have been given. And wind, because it's something Naruto fire and lightning. This one just works out lightning on the wind. Naruto has 4 chakra natures, which is all based on genetics, and he can also get lightning, but it isn't required, and would also cost more chakra. If Kakashi used 4 of the basic nature transformations, and theoretically he could probably use all of them, but some nature transformations cost more than others, because Kakashi isn't naturally gifted at using all 5 nature transformations, so it costs more chakra for him. Anyways, sometime later, and we know where this is going, is a nice day after school, and Sasuke and Naruto head back home. However, they notice that it is too quiet. They hear sounds. They see dead bodies. They freak out, as they see people who have they become attached to all murdered. They then remember one thing, death. They head to their house, and they come across a scene of absolute horror. Fugaku and Makoto are now dead in each other's arms. Then, out of the shadows, there's a person near where they were all killed. Itachi and Chika. What happens next? We'll have to find out in the next part. Thank you all for watching part 1 of What If Naruto was half Uchiha, half Senju. Now, I got a couple scenarios for you guys to pick from. Do you want Sasuke to have his original personality from canon? You know, emo. Do you want him to be healed because he was Naruto? Because secondly, when he lost his entire clan, he literally lost his whole clan. Or do you want something in the middle of that where he's both nice and emo? So that's kind of contradictory, but you get what I'm saying. Do you want Naruto to be emo as well with the first option if you choose Sasuke having his original personality?
Disney Plus, Hulu, and
This video was made in collaboration with the Uzumaki clan. She was the second Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we'll be going over lived most of her youth being caught up in war, making her seek for a daily peace. At a young age, she was sent to Konoha and enrolled in the academy. Wanting to make a strong first impression, she proclaimed to her class that she would be the first female Hokage. The other kids laughed at her statement and began calling her Tomato because of her then round face and fiery red hair. This prompted her to lash out and pummel the kids who teased her. This, in addition to her red hair flying wildly around as she did so, earned her the nickname of Red Hot-Blooded Habanero. Kushina was eventually told why she had to leave her home of Uzoshio and go to Konoha. Because of her special chakra, she was to be the next Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed demon fox. Kushina was terrified by the idea, but she was comforted by the Nine-Tails' then current Jinchuriki, Mito Uzumaki. Before the transfer was performed, Mito advised Kushina that love was the only way to tame the Nine-Tails and overcome its hate. When she was around 12 years old, Kushina, now a genin, was kidnapped by Kumogakure, who wanted to make use of her special chakra in order to gain control of the Nine-Tails. As they escorted her to Kumo, she secretly plucked and left behind strands of her red hair to mark her trail in hopes that someone would find her. Minato Namikaze, one of her former classmates that Kushina believed to be a wimp, was the only one to pick up on this. After rescuing her, he informed her that he had always admired her red hair. Since Minato proved himself to be anything but, accepted her, and liked the one thing that she hated about herself, Kushina fell in love with him, now considering her red hair as the red thread of fate that brought them together. Ultimately, Minato's reciprocated feelings helped her with overcoming the Nine-Tails. As she grew up, Kushina became renowned for her beauty and unique ninjutsu style, including the Fuin Jutsu of her clan. At some point, Kushina married Minato. She was then later present to witness her husband's reign as 4th Hokage, being very excited for him when first learning of it. During her 10-month Jinchuriki-influenced pregnancy, she was secretly guarded by Minato's top student, Kakashi Hatake, under Minato's order. Midway through her pregnancy, the expecting parents decided to name their unborn child Naruto after the main character of Jiraiya's first book. When Jiraiya asked if they were sure about it, stating that it was a name he had just come up with whilst eating a bowl of ramen one day, Kushina said it was a beautiful name. They even approved of Jiraiya to be Naruto's godfather. Kushina also hoped that her son and her friend Mikoto Uchiha's youngest son Sasuke would become friends in the future. Because the seal keeping the Nine-Tails within Kushina's body would be at its weakest during childbirth, special arrangements were made. Kushina would leave the village in secret and give birth in a remote location. Minato would help maintain the seal and Anbu would guard the area. Soon after Naruto was born, however, they were found by a masked man. The masked man killed Anbu, Miwako, and Tachi and took the newborn baby Naruto hostage, threatening to kill him as well. Minato was able to take Naruto back, but this gave the masked ninja the chance to escape Kushina. Wishing to use the Nine-Tails to destroy Konoha, the masked man released it from Kushina's body. The vitality inherent to the Uzumaki clan allowed her to survive the extraction, though she was greatly weakened by the experience. The masked ninja tried to have the Nine-Tails finish Kushina off, but she was saved by Minato and brought to Naruto, who she stayed with while Minato went to help in the village's defense. To stop the Nine-Tails attack, Minato was forced to bring it to Kushina and Naruto's location, and both of them to its. While still weakened, Kushina used her diminished chakra to restrain the Nine-Tails. Despite fearing the trauma would kill her in her current state, Kushina volunteered to have the Nine-Tails sealed back into her body so it would die with her. She was willing to sacrifice herself for Minato and Naruto, her thanks to them for giving her such a happy life. Minato suggested using the dead demon-consuming seal on the Nine-Tails and sealing it into Naruto instead, choosing to believe in him as a father. As this would also mean Minato's death and consequently give Naruto a horrible and lonely life, Kushina naturally objected. Minato, while understanding her concerns, convinced her that it was for the best because he believed in Naruto and that doing this would also allow Kushina to see Naruto when he was older. After Minato sealed the yin half of the Nine-Tails chakra inside himself, the demon shrunk significantly, losing the chains. Realizing the Hokage's intentions, the weakened Nine-Tails tried to kill Naruto, but both Minato and Kushina used their bodies to shield him. As Minato performed the sealing, and already at the point of death, Kushina told Naruto how much she loved him and gave him her best advice for the future. Her final act in this world was to fill her son with as much of her love as possible. Minato then sealed the rest of the remaining chakra into Naruto. In the anime, before dying, the third Hokage appeared. Kushina told Hiruzen the child's name and begged the elder to protect Naruto, dying shortly afterwards. 4th Shinobi World War Countdown. During his training with Killer Bee at the Tailed Beast Temple to learn to control his Tailed Beast, Naruto was almost overwhelmed by the Nine-Tails' hatred, and began to undergo version 2 transformation. Just as the hatred almost consumed him, he heard a small, clear voice speaking to him as Kushina appeared before him. Naruto initially believed that she was the Nine-Tails in disguise, and as he chided the beast for taking such a form and how it laughed, she hits him in the head. She then apologized for her short temper and the use of the word datebane, telling Naruto that she had hoped that it, like her temper, wasn't a trait he had inherited from her. Picking up on this and realizing Kushina was his mother, Naruto started to cry and embraced her. Her happiness halted the Ninetales' spreading influence, and Kushina used her adamantine sealing chains to restrain the Ninetales in order to give them a chance to talk. As the chains emerged, the Ninetales was surprised after recognizing her chakra. With the opportunity to speak more freely now, Kushina noted that her son had inherited her features and verbal tick, but thankfully got his father's hair color as well as his eyes. Dismissing this, Naruto noted that she was beautiful, and had he gotten her hair color as well, he would have been really handsome. Her smiles of joy soon turned to ones of embarrassment, however, when asked how she and Minato fell in love. Nevertheless, Kushina told Naruto the story of how she had come to Konoha as a child and was almost kidnapped by Kumo-nin, but subsequently rescued by his father. Afterwards, she told Naruto the words that she reserved for people who complimented her hair, and with the words of love resonating throughout him, Naruto was able to break free of the beast's hatred. Kushina later watched on and helped Naruto extract and separate the Ninetales chakra from its body, noting that her son was a powerful fighter. With her remaining time, she told him about the Nine-tailed Demon Fox's attack and how the beast came to be sealed within him. After her story was finished, she apologized for placing such a burden on him. Naruto replied that it didn't matter, for even though she and Minato weren't there to show their child love, he knew that they had loved him long before the Ninetales was sealed into him. Thus, he didn't blame her and Minato for anything, and was happy to be their son. Overjoyed, Kushina tearfully hugged Naruto and thanked him for letting her and Minato be his parents before she completely faded away, finally able to pass on in peace. Legacy. More than anything, Kushina wanted to protect her newborn son Naruto. This is why she first objected to Minato's decision to seal the Ninetales into him. She did not want to impose the hardships that Jinchuriki had to endure during their lives, and moreover didn't want to leave her son an orphan should Minato carry out his plan, which would also cost him his life, and as such, Kushina wanted to sacrifice her own life and reseal the beast into herself. Ultimately agreeing to Minato's plan, which would also protect their village, Kushina imparted her final words to Naruto by which he should live. She would later play an integral role in Naruto's success in taking control of the Ninetales, a power which was later heavily relied on for the success of the allied shinobi forces. Also, Kushina is quite similar to her son Naruto in personality, as observed by both Kurama and her husband Minato. This became a source of strength and joy for Minato, giving him the heart to continue fighting with Naruto against his former student, Obito. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos.
What up, Space Fam? Gozen here from Anime Uproar, and today we're going to be talking about the Uzumaki clan, which was a much requested topic on both the 7 Hokage Explained video and the Every Uchiha Explained video. I said I'd make another Naruto video as soon as the Uchiha video got 4,000 likes, and it got 4,000 likes real quick. Same deal here. Turn that like button blue, share this video with any cultured Naruto fans you know, and I'll get started on the next Naruto video as soon as we hit 4,000 likes on this one. Then I'll pick one of the suggested topics in the comment section and do a video on that. So leave a comment, and if you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or you will miss future Naruto videos when they drop. Spoilers are obviously fair game, you've been warned. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Like the Senju clan, the Uzumaki clan is descended from Asura Otsutsuki, the son of the Sage of Six Paths and the brother of the Uchiha ancestor Indra Otsutsuki. Thus, the Senju clan and the Uzumaki clan share a distant blood relation and had
Oh, hey, we all shop online, right? And when we do, we always see that little...
This video was made in collaboration with Narutopedia, who from Konohagakure's Uchiha clan. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Shisui Uchiha. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Graduating from the academy during the Third Shinobi World War, Shisui was placed on a Genin team along with his best friend. Immediately after the war ended a year later, Shisui witnessed his friend die on a mission, consequently awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan as he felt responsible. A year later, he met a...
What up, Space Fam? Gozen here from Anime Uproar, and today we're going to be talking about the Uzumaki clan, which was a much requested topic on both the 7 Hokage Explained video and the Every Uchiha Explained video. I said I'd make another Naruto video as soon as the Uchiha video got 4,000 likes, and it got 4,000 likes real quick. Same deal here. Turn that like button blue, share this video with any cultured Naruto fans you know, and I'll get started on the next Naruto video as soon as we hit 4,000 likes on this one. Then I'll pick one of the suggested topics in the comment section and do a video on that. So leave a comment, and if you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or you will miss future Naruto videos when they drop. Spoilers are obviously fair game, you've been warned. Now without further ado, let's jump into it. Like the Senju clan, the Uzumaki clan is descended from Asura Otsutsuki, the son of the Sage of Six Paths and the brother of the Uchiha ancestor Indra Otsutsuki. Thus, the Senju clan and the Uzumaki clan share a distant blood relation and have tended to be on good terms with each other. In fact, the first Hokage's wife was a woman from the Uzumaki clan called Mito. The Uzumaki clan was a prominent family from Uzushiogakure, aka the Hidden Eddy village. This shinobi village was located in the land of whirlpools. The Uzumaki were known for their red hair and their sealing jutsu. In addition to that, they were brimming with vitality, they aged slower and lived longer. That's why their village was known as the village of longevity. Their strong life forces allowed them to recover from greater wounds in less time. By using their chakra, they could quickly heal themselves and potentially others. Their clan symbol is the spiral circle that you'll find at the back of Naruto's jacket. Because the Senju clan and their friends had a close relationship with the Uzumaki and their village, when the Hidden Leaf village was formed, they added the Uzumaki/Uzushiogakure symbol to their flak jackets and elsewhere throughout the village. I find it really cool that Naruto was always wearing the symbol of his mom and ancestors even before he realized it. However, Uzushiogakure is no more. Because the village was so feared for their sealing jutsu abilities, they were targeted and wiped out during the era of war and unrest. The survivors fled and dispersed throughout the lands. Since then, Konohagakure, aka the Hidden Leaf village, has become the home of the Uzumaki clan, which includes Naruto and his family. Now let's get into the individual clan members that we know of. Number 1 is Ashina Uzumaka. Ashina was the leader of the Uzumaki clan when the Hidden Leaf village was formed. He excelled in sealing jutsu even compared to other members of his clan, and he was said to be the forefather of sealing jutsu in the Hidden Leaf village. On to number 2, Mito Uzumaki. She was the wife of the first Hokage Hashirama Senju. She was from Uzushiogakure before she migrated to the Hidden Leaf village. Not only did she become Hashirama's wife, she also became the first Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox by sealing Kurama within herself. As a Jinchuriki, she also possessed the power to sense negative emotions. It is clear that the vitality and sealing prowess of the Uzumaki clan members make them especially good Jinchuriki choices for the very powerful Nine-Tails. Mito, and as we'll see later, Naruto's mother had particularly powerful chakra even among the Uzumaki, and this powerful chakra could suppress the Nine-Tails. Mito was a great example of the longevity of the Uzumaki clan. She was already an adult when the Hidden Leaf was formed, and then she went on to live through the first 3 Hokage until she finally passed on the Nine-Tails to Kushina. What's more, Mito's hair never turned gray, another sign of her vitality. She also had a profound impact on Kushina, teaching her that even a Jinchuriki can live a happy life if they fill it with love. Love is what kept Kurama in check, while negative emotions would have let him overwhelm his Jinchuriki. Lastly, Mito also had a diamond mark on her forehead just like Tsunade, who is Mito's descendant. For Tsunade, this was the strength of 100 seal, aka the 100 healings mark. An S-rank sealing jutsu, which continually amasses chakra until the user chooses to release it. Once released, the stored chakra will amplify the power of the user's techniques in a big way. We don't know if Mito's was just decorated, but since it's a sealing jutsu and since she was Tsunade's ancestor, I think it's totally possible that Mito Uzumaki was able to use this OP technique as well. We don't see her fight, but you can bet that she was a force to be reckoned with. In fact, she sealed the Nine-Tails in herself because she wanted to gain more power for her husband, so it's clear that the two were a real power couple. Next up, let's look at number 3, Nagato Aka Pain, another descendant of the Uzumaki clan. He was from Amegakure, aka the village hidden in the rain, another antagonist with an interesting philosophy. He began leading the new Akatsuki in order to create a peaceful world by any means necessary. Ironically, if it took pain and violence to bring about peace, Nagato was more than ready to dish it out. Nagato had a depressing past where his parents, including his Uzumaki mother named Fuso, died in order to protect him. They tried to escape when Hidden Leaf Village ninja broke into their house, but when they were detected, Nagato's mom and dad decided to distract the ninjas so that their son might have a chance of escaping. Unfortunately, they were killed and Nagato ended up using the Renegon eyes that Madara had implanted into him to kill these Hidden Leaf Village ninjas. On a side note, not much is known about Uzumaki number 4 Fuso. Like her son Nagato, she had the red hair that's characteristic of the Uzumaki clan. We know she was a nurse and provided humanitarian aid during the Second Shinobi World War until she sacrificed her life for her son. We don't know much about Fuso's abilities, so let's get back to Nagato and his abilities. As the leader of Akatsuki, Nagato was regarded as the strongest member. According to Kabuto, he was the most powerful reincarnated shinobi aside from an enhanced Madara Uchiha himself. Nagato was often viewed as being unbeatable, and when the legendary Jiraiya lost his life to pain, Tsunade even said that no one but the pervy sage could have gotten that far against him. He could even single-handedly destroy the Hidden Leaf Village, which is crazy to think about. As usual in these videos, I'll offer a highlight of some of Nagato's impressive abilities, and if you want an even more detailed breakdown, request a video dedicated to Nagato in the description. His Uzumaki heritage and Renegon eyes combined to give Nagato a vast amount of chakra to work with. It is because of his Uzumaki beings that he could use another's 2 Renegon eyes without drawbacks. Against Hanzo, Nagato's legs were badly injured, leaving his original body frail, but fortunately for him, he had other ways to fight. More on that in a bit. As with Naruto, Jiraiya trained Nagato, who mastered every technique that was taught to him. He could use all 5 basic nature transformations and Yang release at the mere age of 10. Nagato is an amazing sensor, able to pinpoint a person's specific chakra from vast distances and figure out their location. He can also alter his own chakra so other sensors can't discover him. He was so skilled with the Renegon that Obito called him the 3rd sage of 6 paths. The Renegon gave Nagato access to the 6 paths techniques, including gravitational powers, animal summons, chakra absorption, control over people's souls, body manipulation / mechanization, and the ability to summon the King of Hell, who can be used for interrogation purposes or to repair damage. When he was alive, he used each one of these 6 abilities through 6 avatars. Nagato kept the ability of the outer path for his own body, which allowed him to summon the Husk of the Ten Tails, to use black receivers to control avatars or people by channeling chakra into them, and to use the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique. This last technique is a bit of a cheat code, allowing one to sacrifice their own life energy to revive many Hidden Leaf Ninja, including Kakashi. The King of Hell released all the souls, which returned to their rejuvenated bodies, and in turn, Nagato's red hair turned white before he eventually expired. Next up, let's look at Uzumaki number 5, the obsessed Sasuke fangirl Karin. She's from Kusagakure, aka the village hidden in the grass. She was an assistant to Orochimaru and then a member of Sasuke's Sasuke used her to perform one of the most savage revenge moments in anime when he shot through her in order to hit Naruto.
Hey, you! Me? Yeah, you! Try this. Oh, nice. Valorant is a 5 versus 5 shooter where you'll attack or defend strategic points on the map. You'll have pistols, rifles, SMGs, snipers, even guns that look like a freaking dragon! Sorry, you can't have that until after the pistol round. Make your way to one of the objectives and plant the spike. The spike detonates after some time. If you're successful, the round is yours. If the spike is defused, you lose the round.
Pull them over.
On my way.
Help.
Hit. Enemy spotted.
Watching you know.
Bunch of guys here.
You should have seen their faces. Yo, Brimstone. You know the drill.
Let's go.
Reloading. Tear them down. Yeah. Let's do it.
Beat them back.
Your fault.
fight front. Death is cold.
We good. We good.
This enemy spotted. Shot down.
Oh, I forgot to mention, every agent has their own set of unique abilities to make killer plays. You, for example, are a duelist. There is sensitive initiators and controllers. Valorant is all about using your abilities and combining them with your lethal gunplay to outplay your opponents. Although that you can definitely still win. You may just need some teamwork. Or some human bait. I'm not just not.
We got this.
Let's turn this around.
Push.
Tiene a mi looks composed.
Is that it?
I'm watching here.
Yes. You cannot escape. Spikes here.
Let's go. Stand right in front.
Close one. Shot done. Get back.
Hey, Phoenix. Blocking sight. Rush them.
Come on, let's go. Get out of here. Sit down.
Well done! There are plenty of strategies you can coordinate with your team. With practice, you will be able to win without those newbie lucky shots. So what are you waiting for? Download it now on playvalorant.com and jump into the action.
The best RPG on PC is seconds away. Download now on the Plarium Play Launcher and get ready to raid. Explore, collect, and fight. Choose your champions. Defeat terrifying bosses. Win glory in PvP battles. Raid Shadow Legends. Download Plarium Play Launcher and play it on your PC.
Despite this, Karin, who managed to survive, ended up forgiving Sasuke and even delivering his and Sakura's child, Sarada. Karin later gave Sarada her original blast, so you gotta hand it to her. Overall, she handled losing Sasuke to Sakura pretty well. Now let's turn to her abilities. She wasn't chosen by Orochimaru and then by Sasuke for no reason. Unlike Nagato, she doesn't really shine in combat but in assistance. She possesses an ability known as the Mind's Eye of the Kagura, which allows her to sense and track chakra from vast distances. She can also sense changes in chakra, which lets her know when someone is lying or when someone is caught in a genjutsu. She can tell when there's weird chakra behavior within a radius of many kilometers, so she can quickly escape before something goes down, and she can even conceal her own chakra, making her invisible to chakra sensors. Obviously, as she's concealing her chakra, she can't use abilities that require chakra, so this is an ability that should be used when hiding rather than when fighting. Then we have her life force, which is remarkable like a true Uzumaki. Her life force is so strong that she can heal others by having them bite her. She often healed Sasuke in this way, and it definitely led to some weird and funny moments. Karin's life force is ample enough to restore a heavily damaged and depleted Hokage Tsunade. Karin jokes about how Tsunade takes so much of her chakra that she's going to age into an old hag, but she ends up being fine. Her life force, chakra reserve, and healing powers are truly exceptional, although she unfortunately has to live with those bite marks all over her body. We've also seen Karin use the Uzumaki clan's adamantine sealing chains technique. The chains come from the user's body, wrap around targets, and thus restrain them. The chains bind chakra as well as the body. When Naruto's mom uses it, more on her later, she can hold down the Nine Tails, no small feat. Notably though, a Naruto databook reveals that Karin's level of mastery over the technique is nowhere close to Kushina's level of mastery. We also know that Karin has a solid grasp of earth and water release and yin and yang release. I'll also briefly mention Uzumaki number 6, Karin's mom, who appears in the anime. When Karin was still young, her mother took her to Kusagakure. The inhabitants let them stay as long as Karin's mother used her abilities to heal injured villagers. And this is where it gets pretty dark. Like Karin, the mom possessed the ability to heal those who bit her, and thus absorbed her powerful chakra. However, the villagers overused her ability, and Karin's mother eventually died from overexerting herself. Then the villagers replaced her with Karin, so when Orochimaru came around and offered to save her from that situation, you can understand why she went along with him. Next up we have Uzumaki number 7, Kushina Uzumaki, the mother of our protagonist and the second Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Kushina was brought over from Uzushio Gakure, the home of the Uzumaki clan, at a young age, so that she could enroll in the academy and become the Jinchuriki. It was already a tradition for Uzumaki to be the Jinchuriki, as was the case with the first Hokage's wife, and Kushina was picked specifically because of her powerful chakra, which was even strong among the Uzumaki. When speaking about the first Nine-tailed Jinchuriki Mito, Kushina said that she was the wife of the first Hokage. So Kushina, the second Nine-tailed Jinchuriki, decided to be the wife of the fourth Hokage, who was Naruto's dad, Minato Namikaze. As a kid, she proclaimed that she would become the first female Hokage, but the other kids just laughed at her and called her Tomato because of her red hair and round face. She was a tomboy though, and she would beat up those who teased her, and so the nickname evolved from Tomato to the red hot-blooded habanero. Clearly she was strong to begin with, since she had especially strong chakra that could potentially suppress the Nine-Tails, and she could even beat up boys without a problem. She then had the entire Nine-tailed fox sealed inside her, which would have boosted her already strong chakra even more. Not only was her Uzumaki life force strong enough to survive the Nine-Tails being extracted from her, she even went on to help Minato pin down the Nine-Tails with her adamantine sealing chains. As I mentioned when discussing Karin, these chains are made of chakra, and Karin's adamantine sealing chains technique was only a glimpse of what Kushina was capable of. As mentioned, Kushina could dig her chains into the ground and have them pop up so that they'd trap the strongest of the Nine-tailed beasts. Even in a weakened state, she said she could take the Nine-tails with her to her death, although the tailed beast would eventually re-emerge after a delay. The barrier she constructed with the help of her chains to keep the Nine-tails trapped inside seemed to be so strong that even the third Hokage couldn't break through it. However, he may not have broken through it because he didn't want the Nine-tails to be able to escape, and not because he had no way of breaking through it. We don't know for sure, but I always tried to err on the side of not underestimating Sarutobi. Like her clan, Kushina excelled at sealing jutsu, and even taught the fourth Hokage Minato how to perform some. She could use wind, water, and yin release. Eventually, Kushina died protecting her son, but it's clear that she, like Minato, was exceptionally strong, so Naruto had OP genes coming from both sides of the family tree. This is why some people argue that Rock Lee would make for a better underdog protagonist, because Naruto clearly had incredible potential from the start if you look at his parents. Now let's talk about Uzumaki number 8, Naruto Uzumaki, the legendary 7th Hokage himself. I already broke down Naruto in my all 7 Hokage and their powers explained video, link in the description, so I'll keep this section pretty short. Like Kushina, Kid Naruto proclaimed that he would become Hokage, and in his case it came true. He went from repeatedly failing the academy exam as a kid to being referred to as the strongest shinobi in history, a pretty impressive zero to hero transformation. As an Uzumaki, a reincarnation of Asura Otsutsuki, and as a Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails, Naruto has beyond massive reserves of chakra. And if all that wasn't enough, he also received chakra from all the other tailed beasts and from the Sage of Six Paths, which further increased his power. He even has an artificial arm now made from Hashirama cells that can absorb ninjutsu attacks. The only thing missing is Sasuke giving him his Rinnegan. Naruto can now use all 5 nature transformations and yin and yang release. Some of his most notable abilities include shadow clothing to the extreme, every variation of the Rasengan you can imagine, including the S-class technique Wind Release Rasen Shuriken, the golden Naruto form known as 6-Path Sage Mode, which lets him flex on his opponents and even summon a giant 3-headed Kurama avatar that can launch giant Rasen Shurikens. Oh, and we can never forget the sexy jutsu and all of its versatile variations. Like Karin, he can use his chakra to heal people and even restore missing organs, and best of all, people don't need to bite him to get healed. So that's it for Naruto in this one. Remember that you can check out the 7 Hokage and their powers explained video for a more detailed breakdown. Next, let's look at Uzumaki number 9, Boruto Uzumaki, the controversial figure himself. Here things get interesting because Naruto's family is pretty much the remaining Uzumaki clan. So even though the Byakugan was not initially a characteristic of the Uzumaki clan, but of the Hyuga clan, from now on the Uzumaki clan descendants will have the Byakugan in their blood. So you can say that now it is a characteristic of the clan. Just something that I thought was pretty interesting. Boruto is a prodigy and clearly has good genes. His father is the strongest shinobi and a descendant of the famous Uzumaki clan and son of the 4th Hokage, while his mother is a member of the famous Hyuga clan. More on her later. In the anime during the Genin exams, Kakashi suggested that Boruto was not only exceptional compared to his class members, he was also at a Chunin level. According to Kakashi, Boruto excels in all areas. Like his father, Boruto has large chakra reserves and good chakra control, being able to perform one-handed seals. He's said to have the potential for senjutsu, meaning he could enter Sage Mode down the line. Like Naruto, he likes using shadow clones, the Rasengan with his own vanishing spin on it, and can even perform the much-feared sexy jutsu. Rather than wanting to be like his Hokage father, Boruto chose Sasuke as his mentor, and so it makes sense that he can summon the giant snake Garaga rather than a toad. With some help from Sasuke, Boruto became quite skilled in Shuriken Jutsu, aka the art of throwing kunai shuriken and other projectiles. He can even coat his shuriken in lightning. Speaking of lightning, Boruto's natural affinity is lightning release, but he can also use wind release and water release. Then there's Boruto's own OP twist, his Kama or Karma in the Viz translation. I'll be using Karma for the purposes of this video. His Karma is a backup of Momoshiki Otsutsuki, and it allows Boruto to access Otsutsuki powers. The Otsutsuki are presented as godlike in the Naruto world. The Otsutsuki clan is the strongest clan, so this potentially gives Boruto the possibility of eventually even surpassing Naruto. When activated, the Karma mark gives Boruto a significant boost across the board and lets him absorb ninjutsu. With another Karma user, he can even create a dimensional portal. When pushed, the will of Momoshiki can take control of Boruto, kind of like how the Nine Tails would take control of Naruto in the past. In chapter 43 of the manga, this form lets Boruto fly, unleash massive Rasengans, and more. It allows him to straight up flex on the powerful Boruto. Then there's Boruto's special eye, the Jogan, meaning pure eye in Japanese. Its power is associated with the strongest of clans, the Otsutsuki. It will probably continue to evolve and perform new abilities, but for now it can see the flow of chakra, track people based on their chakra, allow one to see a person's chakra pathway system, and like the Byakugan identify its key points, and predict where Yomotsu Hirasaka, aka the original space-time ninjutsu used by the Otsutsuki clan, will be used. And it makes sense that an Otsutsuki Dojutsu, aka Eye Power, can predict an Otsutsuki space-time ninjutsu. I spent more time here on Boruto than I expected to, but between the manga and anime there is a lot of interesting things to discuss about him, but now I'm ready to move on to Uzumaki number 10, Himawari Uzumaki, the daughter of Naruto and Hinata and the little sister of Boruto. She is 2 years younger than Boruto, making her 10 years old during the Boruto movie. Himawari has clearly got a lot of potential since she awakened the Byakugan at a very young age. When she did so, she scared Boruto, who claimed that she was super strong all of a sudden. It's a moment of comedic relief, but she ends up punching Naruto in the gut so hard that even Kurama feels it. At 10 years old, she learns to activate the Byakugan at will. Like other Byakugan users, when it's activated, Himawari can potentially gain access to an almost 360-degree field of vision, see across great distances and even through solid surfaces, and as I mentioned with the Jogan, perceive people's chakra pathways and potentially close off their chakra points. In one of the Itachi novels, a Byakugan user could split chakra-based jutsu and remain completely unharmed. The Byakugan also lets the user see if genjutsu is being performed on others. I remember personally thinking during the early Naruto days that the Byakugan was even cooler than the Sharingan, and I hope we keep learning new information about it in Boruto. In addition to the Byakugan, Himawari can hit a bullseye with ease, proving that she's already skilled at Shuriken Jutsu, and her natural chakra control, unlike Kid Naruto's, is impressive enough that she can already temporarily stick to vertical surfaces by focusing chakra into her feet, while her peers fell immediately when they tried. She clearly has immense potential, we just gotta hope that she becomes a ninja rather than a flower shop owner or something else non-ninja related. I'd love to see her kicking butt alongside Boruto in the future. Uzumaki number 11 was not born into the Uzumaki clan but married into it. Of course, I'm referring to Hinata Hyuga, the best girl in Naruto. Hinata used to be regarded as a failure by her clan. The OGs will remember her fight against Neji, where he told her that a weak personality won't become strong. A failure is always a failure, and by that negative dad. Hinata lost, but fought bravely, showing she wasn't a weak person who would give up or run from a fight. In one of the series' most touching moments, she was even ready to die at Pain's hands for Naruto's sake. One thing's for sure, she definitely proved Neji wrong. With her Byakugan, Hinata can see a person's chakra pathway system and the 361 Tenketsu, which are nodes no larger than the prick of a pin. Using Gentle Fist style, Hinata can hit these nodes and inject her own chakra into her opponent in order to halt the flow of that person's chakra or enhance it, controlling it any way she wishes. Through this fighting style, Hinata can cause severe damage to any internal organs located near the attack chakra points. Even though she started off as a screw-up, by adulthood she was highly regarded for her mastery of the Gentle Fist fighting style. Thus, all of the things I already mentioned about the Byakugan when I spoke of Himawari applies even more so to Hinata, who's an expert, whereas her daughter is still a novice comparatively speaking. Ninjutsu is not Hinata's main focus, but she can use fire and lightning release. Now things get really interesting. Just like Naruto and Sasuke got some chakra from Hagoromo Otsutsuki, Hinata got some chakra from the Sage of Six Paths' younger brother, Hamura Otsutsuki, the ancestor of the Hyuga clan. As a result, she got a significant power-up and her chakra changed from blue to purple. Hamura even recognized Hinata as the Byakugan princess, which is a pretty perfect name for the best girl. With this chakra upgrade, she can replenish Naruto's insane chakra reserves in moments, and she doesn't even look drained afterwards. In contrast, Sakura took 3 days to do the same, and she was bedridden afterwards. Hinata can also see 20 kilometers in any direction with her Byakugan. In contrast, we've only seen Neji, who was previously referred to as the most talented Hyuga, use his Byakugan to see as far as 800 meters. So Hinata can potentially see 25 times further than the talented Neji, which is insane to think about. At the end of the day, Hinata went from being a failure in the eyes of her clan to becoming the strongest Hyuga, significantly surpassing even Neji. She's more of a mom than a fighter these days, but don't let that fool you. She is the perfect wife for Naruto, the strongest shinobi in history. Not only are they both strong, they both prove Kid Neji wrong by showing that even screw-ups can change and even become the best. Finally, Uzumaki number 12 is a movie-only character called Menma Uzumaki. He is pretty much emo Naruto from a fake created world where Minato and Kushina never died. Toby created this fake world and set Naruto and Sakura in it by using a kind of infinite Tsukuyomi prototype called the Limited Tsukuyomi. Unlike Naruto, Menma is a bad guy and S-ranked criminal. He's like the Venom to Naruto's Spider-Man. Thus, it makes sense that Menma has similar powers to Naruto. He's a Jinchuriki of the Black Nine-Tails. He can unleash the giant Nine-Tails like a summon. He's also able to create 9 powerful masked beasts using the Nine-Tails chakra. He has a sort of dark Rasengan called Spiraling Ring. He can use a more powerful version of this technique to cause a giant bomb-like explosion that completely devastates the Hidden Leaf village. Plus, he needs no clones to use this move. He can also fly around freely, and when Toby takes over his body, he gains the Sharingan and the ability to use Kami, which lets him become intangible and use teleportation. Naruto still beats Menma because it's his movie and a Genjutsu world, but it was interesting to see an Uzumaki and Nine-Tails Jinchuriki with a Sharingan. Overall, I did enjoy the Road to Ninja Naruto movie, where emo Naruto made his debut. And that is it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. These videos do take a bunch of work, but I made this one because it was heavily requested and Uchiha video got 4,000 likes. So if you want to see another one, A, obliterate that like button, and B, let me know what video topic you would like me to cover next in the comments. Like last time, when this video hits 4,000 likes, I'll get started on one of the suggested videos. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, ring that notification bell or you will miss future videos. While you wait for the next one to drop, check out my growing Naruto playlist, where you can find videos about the Uchiha, Hokage, and more. Lastly, the YouTube ad rates have dropped big time, so the support we're getting from our Anime Pro patrons is very appreciated. A very special thank you goes to our patrons over on Patreon who help us survive these YouTube issues and who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank our The One Tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans: Steven Ingrata, Alola Anatem, The World, Steelers, Acquire Respect, Pate Hepa, Jonathan King, Brandon Aviles, Papa Smurf, The School Bus, King Riser, Emperor Otaku, Ricardo Martinez, Thomas Jones, Kinmano, Michael Hyde, and Jaden the Vector Controller. And our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, Anatoly Kazatsky, Angel Cruz, Cricket XP, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Alicia Actor, Jessica Kayla Fawn, Hinokami Water, Bonnie Park, Zodiac Baldwin, Thuin, De Aura, Kraken, Arels, and Deadly Saint. Thank you all so much. If you enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/animeuproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord, where we talk about anime life and, of course, dank memes. So check out patreon.com/animeuproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also now join the YouTube channel and support more content that way if you prefer. Whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
Bye.
Today we're going to be talking about the Akatsuki versus the Phantom Troop, a truly legendary spectacle, one that you've all been asking for. Everyone in all the debate communities constantly argues about it. It's really, really close. I promise. This will be a really long and detailed video. I absolutely promise.
This is the honestly, this is the Goku versus Superman of Shonen. You know, like it's just nobody agrees. There's just whole communities centered around figuring it out. It's just a really titanic, close battle.
There is doxing, discourse, everything you can imagine from this. Like, it's just absolutely insanity. But when are y'all gonna get to the goddamn point? To just like sum up this topic really quick. I mean, this video can just be like 15 minutes or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But it's pretty blatantly in the Akatsuki's favor. Like, spoilers, you know, shocker. There is like very few things the Phantom Troop have going for them. So when I talk to Swag's gonna kind of go over like the hacks abilities and like maybe talk about maybe the redundancy of it really, but let me just like kind of outline something very basic. Alright, so you got Doma Lenoff. He creates the Jupiter ball, and it kills like this little ant with guns. It still uses guns, by the way. Kills an ant, and it creates a crater in the ground, like a decently small crater. It is implied that the ball hit the ground, and that's why there's a crater there. It didn't like vaporize anything or explode or nothing, just crushed the ground right there. And it was like, oh, that's like 109 tons of TNT or something like that. You know, it's pretty beefy. You know, if a real person got hit by that, they'd probably get squished to dust. You know, something crazy. He's like, you can't even outrun sound. So you know, he's shooting sound beams. You know, he's pretty quick compared to the average fella. You know, then you have Uvogin. He's like, oh, that super bazooka can't do anything. And he catches it like Broly, and he catches an explosion like Broly. He's able to chop off someone's head with his teeth. He's able to catch a bullet in his mouth point blank. It's like hypersonic speed. And the volumes is like he can punch with the force of a large explosion. He wants to one day punch with the force of a nuclear bomb. You know, it's pretty tough. You know, strong guy. He's considered the physically strongest of the Phantom Troop. You know, and then you can have like weird stuff like Kortobi, the Obito of the Phantom Troop, the true strongest member, can create 50 whole buildings in the blink of an eye. Now these are all really cool things, but then you have the Akatsuki, and you know they're fighting these things called Bijou, Tail Beast, that can vaporize entire mountains like in like one blast. Like, and then the Akatsuki are like below them, and they're stated to be stronger than these tailed beasts plus ants from Super Ninja.